What happens when dear old granny ain't so dear? Today on rLounge, we serve up a big plate of truth. But be careful, some people might choke on the hard facts. Get in your seats, the show's about to begin. Up first, you better stand up straight. This is a granny that eats the spineless for breakfast. Grandmother tried to ruin the party, but in the end, got owned. I, 28 female, have a grandmother, 91 female, that have the worst relationship. She's emotionally abusive, has done favoritism to kids, grandchildren, and great-grandkids, and verbally abused me, and I can keep on going, but trust me, I wouldn't finish. I cut her off and pretend she doesn't exist after she was glad that my older brother, 25 at the time of his passing in 2014, and when I delivered my dead baby, she said she was pleased that happened to me. After that, at every family event or family reunion, I would pretend she doesn't exist. She tried to get her favorite grandchildren, my cousins, 33 female, 30 male, and 26 female, and younger brother, 23 male, to try to convince me to talk to her or say hi to her. We're Puerto Rican and unfortunately, we're taught to respect our elders. But I didn't care, and she's tried everything in her book and nothing works. In 2021, my dad got a call from his sister, 52 female, grandma's favorite daughter, and told him that grandma was sick and wanted every child and grandchild to take care of her since she couldn't do it alone. I refused, saying I had college classes and work, and I wasn't going to be doing it, since knowing her, she would abuse me verbally. What I didn't know is that I was on speaker and grandma started crying because I disrespected her. She got her favorite grandchildren to try to convince me to take care of her, but I told them off. So, a month ago, I graduated from college with my associate's degree, and one of my aunts organized a barbecue for the ones who graduated and birthdays in May. She was invited to the barbecue, but I didn't let that get the best of me. We were all having a good time until it was time to do a cheer and congratulations for birthdays and graduations. One of my aunts said in her cheer that after 20 years, they have another magna cum laude graduate, and that she's proud of me for never giving up. Everyone was proud until my grandmother screamed to please respect the ones that didn't graduate magna cum laude. Like my aunt said, I was the only one while the other ones were recent high school graduates. Or, please respect the ones that didn't go to college to waste their time. My younger brother didn't go. I kept a cool and calm head, and I called her out for everything, that she was mad that youngest favorite granddaughter didn't graduate magna cum laude, how she loves to defend abusers. My younger brother has domestic violence history, and how I was done being the verbal punching bag, and much more. My grandmother, favorite daughter, and grandchildren left, and the party kept on going. I come to my apartment to see multiple messages to apologize to grandma because she felt offended for what I did. But they're blocked, including my brother. Other family members are on my side since they all had to endure my grandma's verbal abuse. So yeah, I'll keep clapping back at her. One comment from the community, Lap Steel Guitar, says, "Of course Granny was offended. You spoke the truth and she didn't want you to. Keep on speaking your truth. It will free you. And remind her that respect is a two-way street." I'm with the comment. Keep speaking your truth. Nobody has to put up with that. Unfortunately, that's the age group that doesn't like when the younger generation speak their mind and break those generational cycles. Somebody has to do it. Keep it up. Update. Hey guys. So a few days ago, I, 28 female, made a post about exposing my horrible grandmother, 91 female, and I want to say thank you for your kind words and stories. I made the post believing that it wouldn't blow up or receive support, and know the story is on TikTok. Also, to the commenter that defended my grandmother's actions, please stop talking. You do not know the pain she has caused with her actions for you to defend her. So, a lot has happened, and for today's semi-update, I will be identifying the people as HG, horrible grandma, G, 33 female cousin, N, 33 male cousin, Y, 26 female cousin, and L, 23 male younger brother. Like I said, I posted the story 5 days ago, but I have been in no contact with my horrible grandmother and her flying monkeys for a month, and I had plenty of cousins joining me and standing up against her. My parents, 60 female and 51 male, support me all the way. So, on Wednesday I went to pick up a package bought with my mom's account and decided to pick up some other things I left behind while moving out. So, while I was picking up my stuff, L, younger brother, came to the house with horrible grandma and her other favorite grandchildren. They were all sitting at the table, and they told me that this was an intervention because this had been going on for far too long. So, each one of them wrote letters and read them out loud. The letters said they missed the old me, the one that did not have a spine and was submissive towards abuse, that they did not like this new attitude of mine, how we were once close and on. I was listening to this with a bored face and texting mom and dad and significant other, 30 male, about what Elle did, and that they were coming home immediately. When they were done, they asked me to talk, and boy, I ripped them apart. I started one by one from youngest to eldest. Me to Elle, brother. So, I'm going to take seriously a man with domestic violence history with a washed-up career on MLB minor leagues? How about you wake up and realize that horrible grandmother only loves you now because your name was everywhere and you had money. So wake up, idiot. She does not care for you at all. Me to Y, the cousin. I want us to fix our cousin-sister relationship, but you ruined that all on your own with what you did to me. How about you stop depending on horrible grandmother's money for everything, be more independent, and worry more about your failing marriage that you have only been married for 6 months. Me to N, cousin. Please do not try to tell me how to live my life and how to spend my money, because I have worked for everything that I own and do not depend on anyone, and I do not have debt in child support unlike him. Me to G, cousin. Girl, shut up. You live in a house that is horrible grandmother's. Your son is horrible. Our aunts and uncles are after your butt for the land of the house. You must help pay child support for your husband, and you always believe you're better than anyone else because you're a nurse. Newsflash, you're not. Me to horrible grandma. My last living grandparents died in 2004 and 2012, and I do not have any other grandparents since my grandmother has treated me like crap, and I do not associate with someone manipulative, toxic, abusive, and more. So please stop trying to fix something that you decided to never have in the first place, because I never needed you, and it is too little too late to try and fix things. When I was done, L, brother, and N, cousin, were with their heads down. G and Y, cousins, were in tears, and HG, grandma, was realizing the damage that she caused. My parents and significant other came, and they ripped on them and told L, brother, how disappointed they were for doing this, and my dad kicked them out of the house. I felt drained, exhausted, and wanted to go home and relax. My significant other drove us home. We lived together. While my mom drove my car and dad drove his to go back home. While at my apartment, parents said that they are proud of me for showing my spine and for standing my ground. Before horrible grandma and her flying monkeys can spin the narrative, I told the family group chat what happened, and now they are being ripped apart, or that is what my dad said. Do I feel sorry for them? No. They dug their own grave so they could lie in it. So that is it for today. For now. Let's get some community comments real quick. Original Genshi's mom said, "Good job keeping that spine so shiny." Forsaken Pepper 4913 says, "Right on. The flying monkeys are spineless, and you are right to rip them a new one." Yes, what a move. You know you've grown and are healed when you make moves like this. Not only do people not like when they're being thrown the truth, they also don't like it when people grow up and elevate, leaving them in the dust. It means they're looking up at you and don't like standing where they're at, watching you succeed and thrive. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Keep this momentum up. What do you think? Was OP being too harsh? Do you have similar stories with your grandparents? Share them with us in the comments below. And next up, respect is a dish this dad gets served with a side of buttered popcorn. Good luck finding 4 seats next to each other now. So picture this. I'm a 17-year-old, part-time cinema host working in the busiest cinema in the city. It's a Friday night, extra busy, and I've just got done with stocking up one of the storerooms. I'm asked to go deal with a problem in one of the screens as retail is too busy and they can't spare anyone. I'm led to a group of nice women who were very apologetic about taking me away from my job. Not to worry, I hate my job anyway. They explained there were people sitting in their assigned seats and were refusing to move. Crap just got good. Now, how our cinema worked was that there were 2 rows of assigned premiere seats in the center of the screen, and everything else was unassigned. Sit where you want. The assigned seats are clearly labeled as such. You're also told when you buy your tickets and when you get them checked to sit anywhere but the premiere seats, so it's not difficult to figure out how things work. Well, I walked into the screen with the women following behind me, and it is packed. There were definitely spare seats, but you'd be hard-pressed to find 2 or more together. I walk up to the premiere rows and figure out which seats these ladies have from their tickets and tell them to wait on the edge while I go talk to the seat thieves. To add on as well, the film was literally about to start. The trailers were over, and there were a couple of ads before things kicked off, so I didn't have much time. Anyway, I do the awkward, "Sorry, excuse me, need to get past," cinema shuffle until I'm facing the dad of a family of 4. He rolls his eyes when he sees me. I don't think he expected the group of women to escalate things. I explain that I believe they're in the wrong seats as the women stood just at the edge were meant to be sitting there, He denies it and says these are his family's seats. I ask to see his tickets, and sure enough, he's got standard ones and can sit anywhere but the premier seats. I pointed out his mistake and tell him that him and his family will need to move and find other places to sit. Mum chimes in now and says that the group of women have only just got here, right as the film was about to start, whereas they've been sat here since before the trailers were even on, so they shouldn't be forced to move. I explained that the women paid extra for the privilege of being able to arrive right before the film starts and still have good seats. Plus, if the family had been here since before the trailers, they would have had the pick of the entire cinema to sit in, minus the premiere seats, so their mistake was on them. The dad then gets very angry. He raises his voice to just below yelling and tells me his family isn't moving. They were here first, and the women will have to go sit somewhere else. The teenagers they had with them looked like they wanted a floor to swallow them up whole. I didn't yell at the guy, but I did say I wasn't moving until they did, and if I had to, I'd stand directly in front of them for the entire film. I also threatened to call security, but that was a big old bluff. We didn't have security. At this point, the kids were starting to gently suggest to their parents that they need to move, but the mom and dad weren't having it, and both started loudly arguing with me. The dad started demanding I find them new seats. I told him I wouldn't be doing that. I wasn't about to start reshuffling the entire cinema, 2 minutes before the film starts. Age rating is being shown at this point, so opening credits are about to begin. Because of their mistake. I told them they'd all have to sit separately. Sorry, but that's how it goes. At this point, Mum is also now insisting they need to move, and the people around us are starting to get annoyed as well. The dad realizes he's not going to win this, and the entire family get up to move elsewhere. I awkwardly shuffle back down the aisle towards the women who were incredibly apologetic and thankful, and told them it's no big deal, and I love doing stuff like that. To tell the truth, I absolutely do love telling entitled people off, but it was an overwhelming and adrenaline-spiking experience, and I ended up having a small cry in the storeroom afterwards. All in all, things went well, and the family didn't complain any further. I have no idea whether they managed to find seats next to each other. I can assume they didn't after the scene they caused. I wouldn't want to help out a family like that either. How did the community react? Let's see. Every Criticism 2012 says, poor kids probably won't go there again anytime soon, even without their parents. Shinani Batman says, 17 years old, having to deal with a grown man who doesn't understand how things work. I don't blame you for needing a quiet crying session, but good for you, sticking up for those women and not backing down. You're a dang good person for finding the courage to get through the situation. One more, Turi92 says, it's just unbelievable to me that a grown freaking couple would yell and argue with a 17-year-old theater employee. I mean, of course I know it happens, but I just can't for the life of me understand it. Plus, these jerks had teens. If someone did this to their kids at work, I bet they'd lose their minds, but they find it okay to do it themselves. You handled this so well, more maturely than the adult customers. Yes, way to go. These people were clearly in the wrong. Those ladies did pay for the right to arrive later and still have good seats. But yeah, it does take a certain individual to blatantly argue with a 17-year-old kid who's just doing their job when they are so obviously and embarrassingly in the wrong. Tickets don't lie. This family was just full of too much pride. I guess they learned their lesson for next time. If they want to sit together so badly, spend the cash and buy the premiere tickets. Have you ever had to do something similar? We want to hear it. And thank you for joining us today on rLounge. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to say regarding today's content, share that with us in the comments below. See you next time.